Drake's HYFR is one of those songs you just can't forget. It's a massive anthem. But have you ever stopped to think that behind that incredible beat, there's this really deep, kind of raw story about what it actually costs to be that famous? Well, today we're going to tear it apart and really look at the real price of fame using Drake's own words. And we're going to start exactly where the music video does. So the video kicks off with this simple exchange. A voice asks, "What would you like to say?" And the answer is Mazel Tov. Now, that's a Hebrew phrase that means congratulations, something you'd say at a big celebration. So right out of the gate, this whole thing is framed as a ceremony. But a ceremony for what? Well, the video's concept gives it all away. Drake is having a re-bar mitzvah. And to get why that is just so brilliant, we first have to understand what a regular bar mitzvah is all about. So at its core, a bar mitzvah is about a transition. It's about stepping into adulthood and accepting a whole new set of responsibilities and a new level of accountability. What's so wild here is how Drake takes this deeply personal, traditional idea and just completely repurposes it for his own life as a superstar. Think about it. He's not a 13-year-old from Toronto anymore. He is a global phenomenon. And this song, this party, it's his second coming of age. It's a public declaration that he's entering a new kind of adulthood, one where you're living under a microscope 24/7 with a totally different set of rules. And this idea just explodes right away in the lyrics. Drake's opening verse doesn't waste a single second. It throws us right into the deep end of what life is like after you've made it and how it warps your most personal connections. And this comparison just says it all, doesn't it? It shows you the new distance in his life. What used to be real and immediate, we never waited, has turned into something cold and filtered through a phone screen. That spontaneous connection is just gone, and now it's all polite, scheduled text messages. This exchange right here is everything, the single biggest moment of his career, and how does he announce it? With a text. And how does she respond? With a text. It's a powerful moment for sure, but man, is it impersonal. It perfectly captures this new digital wall that fame has built between him and his past. And here it is. This is the big takeaway. After all that, she asks what he's learned, and he drops this little piece of philosophy. It's a clever line, playing on photography, but it's so much deeper. He's saying that success isn't about avoiding problems. It's about taking all the bad stuff, all the negatives, and figuring out how to use them to create something amazing. So this new reality completely reshapes his romantic life, too. The next section of the song gets into how relationships in his world get sped up, they become transactional, and just incredibly complicated. Wow. I mean, you can't get much more direct than that. The line is so blunt, it's almost jarring. It just strips away any hint of romance. The date, the sushi, that's all just a formality, a step that they need to get through as fast as possible. And that really gets to the heart of it. Intimacy stops being about emotional connection and starts being just an exchange, a transaction. It's efficient, I guess, but you gotta wonder how empty it feels. Then Lil Wayne comes in and pushes this idea even further. He immediately sets up this power dynamic based on money and status. He's in one world, on a private jet. She's in another, flying commercial. But his fame lets their worlds collide, and it's always, always on his terms. But these meetings, these collisions of worlds, they're never simple. They are messy, complicated, and filled with all these emotional traps, which the very next lines show us. This is the true mess of fame right here. He's with someone who's drawn to his larger-than-life persona, but also wishes he was just some normal guy. And at the same time, he's wishing she wasn't married. It's just this impossible situation where nobody can have what they actually want. So all of this brings us to the song's main event. All of these messy, private details, his money, his relationships, his feelings, they aren't private anymore. Suddenly, they're all up for this constant, relentless public interrogation. This line just perfectly captures that feeling. For him, an interview isn't a conversation, it's a confession. It's like he's being forced to put his entire life out on the table so the whole world can judge him for it. And then he just unloads this rapid-fire list of the questions he gets hit with. Do you love this shit? Are you high right now? Do you ever get nervous? Are you single? I heard you fucked your girl, is it true? You getting money? You think them niggas you with is with you? I mean, listen to that. They're about his career, his state of mind, his love life, his money, even the loyalty of his own crew. It's this overwhelming assault from every direction. and it's meant to make you feel just how intense that scrutiny really is. Okay, so after laying all of this out, the distant relationships, the transactional love, the complicated affairs, and that never-ending interrogation from the public, Drake finally gives us his answer. This is the climax of the entire song. The whole song has been building up to this one moment. The verses are all the evidence, the questions are the trial. So, what's the verdict? What does he have to say about this chaotic, beautiful, gilded life that he's built for himself? And there it is. The answer is simple, it's profound, and it is incredibly powerful. To every single question, every single doubt, every piece of criticism, his response is just an absolute, unapologetic yes. But, this isn't just him being arrogant. It's a conscious choice. He's not pretending the bad stuff doesn't exist. He's looking at all of it, the pain, the mess, the pressure, and he's choosing to embrace it. He's decided this is the cost of living his dream, and he's willing to pay it. And really, that's the question HYFR leaves us with. Is that final hell yeah a triumphant shout from a guy who has everything he ever wanted, or is it something a little more complicated? Maybe it's the sound of someone who knows he's trapped in a beautiful cage of his own making and has just decided to make peace with it. The song never really tells you. And that's probably what makes it so great.